last 6 months, for 20 hours a week, I've been knocking on doors. Through the sunny days and rainy days, through windy days and calm days, through hot days and cold days, I plowed on. I'm proud to say that as of this meeting, I have knocked on every single door in Central Saanich, totaling 5,009 houses. I've been carrying with me a message.
Thank you.
I've been carrying with me a message that we can maintain Central Saanich's rural appeal, while at the same time allowing landowners to improve upon their property in Keating, in Saanich, and in Brentwood. A message that 10% tax increases year after year after year isn't the only way to go. That we can expand the tax base to meet our future municipal infrastructure projects and obligations. And the message that we can make Central Saanich an even better place to live. This November 15th, I ask you to join me in the quest to stand up for creativity, stand up for property rights, and stand up for creating wealth, and vote Sean McNulty for Mayor of Central Saanich.
Thank you, Wayne, and thank you to the ratepayers, and thank you to all of you for coming this evening. So we got a packed house, so it should be an exciting evening. Personally, I am against the referendum in principle. I think the $20,000 could have been spent in a much more efficient way, and I also believe that that's what we have elections for politicians to make decisions. And if you weren't prepared to make decisions such as these, you're applying for the wrong job, in my opinion. I'll go through each question categorically. First, the Panorama Recreation Center. I am in favor of funding that. I think our recreation center should lead the region, not trail it. The second question is, should Central Saanich give higher priority to its own projects? And that's where I see the issue being, is what higher priority than what? That's the question I would pose there. The third question is financial sustainability. Do you support Central Saanich raising taxes to maintain a higher level of service? Frankly, there's no other way to do it. That question is posed in a way that there's really no other way for them to do it in the current route they're going. Currently, they dip into the reserve fund, or we dip into the reserve funds just to cover operational expenses. That's not sustainable, so you would have to raise taxes anyway, regardless of the answer to that question. The fourth question, anyway, so my vote would be no there on the third point. The fourth question is posed in a way that really acts as if there's only one route to go here, folks, and that is municipal infrastructure. Do you favor long-term financial obligations that would have to be covered through property taxes? I think this is a little misleading because it insinuates that the only way we can fund these infrastructure improvements going forward is by raising property taxes. It isn't the only way to fund it, and in fact I'm advocating expanding the tax base to meet these future obligations. So that question I would also be answering no to. Thank you, Wayne.
Thank you, Sean. The third candidate. If the Peninsula Co-op is allowed to change the official community plan and develop a large retail business at Keating and West Saanich Road, what will stop Home Hardware and others from moving from designated development territory?
Thank you, Wayne. Every application has to be judged on its own merits, and I think it's misleading when people try to insinuate by improve this and everything else gets improved. Because the fact of the matter is, every situation has different variables attached to it. And if you look at the variables attached to that particular situation, the Peninsula Co-op, you're already talking about a commercial corner, you're talking about an artillery roadway, you're talking about a piece of land that was never used for agriculture, and you're talking about a piece of land that, my apologies, you're talking about a piece of land that they bought in 1994 that used to be designated for future commercial use. Now, we have yet to see a plan on this, and that's going to be an important process, but that is an appropriate location for a future community shopping center. I think, first of all, we've got to clear it up. There is no co-op slate, okay? I think everyone in the room who received that mailing saw that it was simply the co-op sending out a questionnaire to candidates, which then the co-op took in and sent back out to its members. So there's no slate happening here, and they're not recommending anyone. That's misinformation. It's simply not true. The second point is that co-op's a private business. And they're well within their right to do this. I agree with Ron and Alistair's point of view.
There's no reason to censor them, as there would be no reason to censor any other community group out there. And the third point is, people keep talking about bringing forward proposals. That's a very costly process, and unless you know where the councillors stand, which is it's difficult to find at the best of times, it's not in the best interest. It doesn't make a good business case for them to keep bringing forward proposals, spending hundreds of thousands of dollars and getting nowhere. So they're well within their right. I fully support what they did, and I appreciate the added information they made available to the voters of Central Saanich. Thank you, Wayne. This actually relates to my first campaign platform point, which is the rejuvenation of Brentwood Bay and Saanich Village. It's important we have healthy village centres. Currently, I know a lot of people who drive out to Sydney or Victoria to get the goods and services they're looking for. We want them driving into Saanich and Brentwood to get those services. Now, there's three things I'd like to see happen that I believe would improve our village centres and speed up the process. Number one, I think we need to make it easier to do business in Central Saanich. Currently, we wait a long time for permits. This is to do with staff time being used inefficiently and the delays in the decision-making process. That's something I'd like to see streamlined. The second point would be rezoned for higher density, mixed-use, commercial, residential. I think that's the place you want to go. You want to go up, not out. And the village centres is where you want to go up. And the third point, I think it's important that we work with two great organizations we have in each village centre, and that's the Brentwood Bay Association and the Saanich Village Association. I've met with people from both of those organizations. They got a lot of great ideas, and I think we should follow their recommendations. So it's very important and something I will make a top priority as Mayor of Central Saanich.